based on your curriculum stuff?
It is. I'm taking a class now. It's EDU 537, and it's for my instruction. I'm so tired. I don't even know what my degree is, Connie.
I couldn't even write earlier.
It's instructional coach and leadership is
Okay.
this class, and so far it's been amazing. But first, I'd just like to say thank you for letting me come in here. I appreciate it. Short notice. And this is really, honestly, I wrote these questions based on us because I know I was here last year. I'd really like to be able to help you guys. I've talked with Molly, and there's some need, and believe it or not, I do have time. But if you could tell me like 3 of your most critical challenges this year, because I'm not in 2nd grade this year.
Okay. Lining, the pacing guide, curriculum,
So the pacing guide
up with the standards.
doesn't match standards. Is this math and ELA both, or?
Pretty much, yeah. It jumps around too much, that's the problem.
The math?
Everything. I mean, we're doing, fictional text, then we're doing informational text.
Oh,
And
you guys are really.
we're like,
Okay,
One
so
week's this,
going in line with treasures is not working?
no.
Okay, we're seeing the same thing.
I don't mean to come and eavesdrop, but I asked Misty about why the Lexile levels didn't match, and she told me they don't know enough about NWEA. Because it doesn't match, because I took the treasurer's book, and I tested a girl, because it said that she was following, like her Lexile level was really low, but she benchmarked at fluency, and
I have a chart.
and she got an MS. Well, they gave us a chart, but it doesn't match. It doesn't match. Her Lexile level doesn't match. And I went and tested her with treasures, and she's on level, like a level K, or M, or L, or something like that. And
Is she testing higher or lower? with
her
NWEA?
Exile level is lower. That's why it doesn't match up.
Yeah, it's gonna be lower.
Yeah, but it doesn't.
NWEA, they have to have a higher reading level to match. It's a higher standard.
So the Lexile levels aren't going to match.
No, treasures is not aligned to Common Core, and NWEA is, and it's harder.
Oh, okay.
It's more of an indicator for what they're gonna do on
So
easy
then-
merit. Sorry,
So then
I know
what do
that's
we
not what
do?
you wanna hear. I'm working on an intervention plan right now for reading, cause ours is not great. I was happy, but not too happy, but when I get it, I'll let you know,
All right, all right.
and you'll see, that's what we're talking about.
Oh,
Right
okay.
now.
Well, I don't even know, but
All right.
How's that for one of them? Have you seen that yet?
Oh, all right. Common Core doesn't.
With
oh,
The
okay.
oh, absolutely, that's what we're working on
So-
today. So the NWEA
Lexile levels,
levels are much higher than,
yeah. They need to be, unfortunately.
well, I
It's-
know they need,
yeah,
I know that,
that's-
but
it's
it
rough,
is
but
what it
that's-
is.
Yeah. So anything else, it doesn't have to be 3, but just anything that I could help you.
Well, the curriculum doesn't match standards as well, not just the
Oh,
pacing
yes,
guide.
yeah.
It doesn't match. It's falling far below. We want to put it in those terms.
Well, just a bug in your ear, hopefully we're gonna change math next year.
We have to,
We do.
Vanessa, I mean,
Nobody sees it, but hopefully that's our goal in the
okay.
district office,
Okay.
is to change
Well,
it.
It needs to be.
So, my main goal, and I've got for you, but as a district, I had written a paper on this the other day, that my kids are my kids. If I start doing this, you guys are my teacher. And I want you to be successful. I mean, that should
Well,
be
absolutely,
the main goal
yeah.
of any instructional coaches. So is there anything specific that you can think of that I can help you with this? I mean, I said we're working on curriculum at the district.
Okay.
I'm gonna go through your pacing guides actually, because I told you I would look for the formatives, and I'm gonna see if I can find that disconnect
Okay.
with that, because I know Jane didn't feel well all summer, so I'm
right.
gonna look at that over the break. And this, when I get my own RTI plan for that, I'll share it with second
Okay.
grade.
That would be
And that way
good.
you
That'd be
can-
great, actually.
Use that.
I just feel we're being pulled in so many different directions right now that it's really hard to, focus on what is really needed. I think that's our dilemma this year. Now we have the writing program. I love the writing program. We have positive input with it, with the kids and us as well. And I greatly appreciate that. But I think a reading program that would correlate more with the writing would be much better.
They have that. I
Right.
think we were gonna check.
Yeah, well, we
being a
talked to
reader.
Melissa about
Yeah.
that as well. And there again, the math is just, I just think it's falling out the bottom because it's not sequential. And when we go back in the pacing guide, they're talking about a lesson that we never did, like counting pennies, and then now we're counting 25 cents, and we never even counted pennies. You know what I mean? Because we're not
Goodness.
following investigations. That's just an example. Or
Okay.
counting 25 cents and then counting 50, which we never did the 25 cents, so we're not doing, you have to
Yeah.
do that before you can
It
do
has to be
50.
sequenced.
sequential, right.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, that's a huge concern. And I feel like it's just not solid enough for us. How is it gonna be solid enough for them? You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Am I answering your questions?
Yes,
Okay.
this I had actually taken it off. So one of the things I put on here especially, I wanted to share with you guys, and if there's a time that we can meet and go over it more, we have started, a couple of us in third grade, I know I have, diligently using MobyMax.
Okay,
And
I heard about
yeah,
that. And
it's
what
a
is
SPED,
that?
it's a SPED program for special education, but when you look at how low our kids are compared to the rest of, not the district, but the state.
Right.
I always like to compare to the state. So if you look at how low our kids are, they're on level, at least a third of them, with special education kids. And this program it gives them a pretest, first of all, to get their level. It has reading, it has math, it has vocabulary, grammar, social studies, science,
Oh, wow.
very interactive, and every time they get a good grade, they get so many seconds of game time. And so they can save up those seconds. Usually it's about 30 seconds, so they get maybe half a minute. And when they do an entire module,
So it's like a little brain break in between.
yeah, they have
Okay.
these fun and they love it, and it's colorful, it's great. I used it with one student in particular. He came up 2 grade levels in grammar.
Wow.
Seriously, from the beginning of the year till now, 2
Wow,
grade
that's
levels.
good, all right.
And then he did reading today. His reading came up, the average is 7 points, came up 28 points.
Wow,
And another girl came up 32.
awesome.
And I've only been using it a month and a half. So
Okay.
you can imagine
Okay.
if we use it till the rest of the year.
So you have to log on and get a password or?
Yeah, one of the questions that I had put on here is one morning when you guys are doing your lesson planning, if you'll let me know, or if you want to come in early or stay later, I will show you how to set up the accounts.
Okay,
It's real
cool.
simple, and it's always with my students, unless you have 2 similar names. Their password, their username is Jacob, their password is Jacob. And so
Oh, that
it's
makes it
nothing you
simple.
even need to write down for them. You can tell them, go log into MobyMax, and they're on.
Right,
So
it's not this
it's not
tedious,
complicated
complicated, okay.
or anything
I
with
have
that.
some
So,
of those passwords, unfortunately.
yeah, if you'll bring it up to the
Okay.
rest of the second grade,
Okay,
I'll do that.
absolutely,
And
sure.
another one, Khan Academy, are you guys set up with that yet? Okay, if you wanna do that one more, it's aligned to the NWEA.
Okay.
And it will actually put your kids, if you go through the NWEA website, it'll put your kids where they need to be in Khan Academy
Okay.
and show you. And we've been using that as well.
Okay,
And
cool.
that I haven't seen results because the math tests are tomorrow.
Okay,
So I'll let you know.
okay, can we back up here a little bit?
Yes.
On this NWEA, all right, when we first tested our kids, most of our kids, and I mean the majority, are at first grade level. So why are we teaching them second grade material?
Because the main reason, see if I can explain this good, because this is how to know if I understand it. They have to see grade level content. So at this level, they have to have whole group instruction with second grade treasures, second grade math. And your math, I'm not sure if I'm with that or not, so I'll explain the treasures. They have to see it fluency, for example. When you do the fluency out of your practice book, it needs to be whole group.
Right.
And what we've had a success with is putting them in table groups, having them 4 or 5 at a time read it together out loud to the whole class. They read it with their group. So if they fall behind, nobody's embarrassed. And then by the end of the week, they've heard it 10 or 15 times, they're reading it by themselves.
Right.
Because if you keep them at that first grade level and they're only seeing first grade words, they're never going to progress.
Okay.
So that's where
Okay, that makes more
when
sense.
you bring them back here to your table and you do guided reading with them,
Right,
in
I bring
treasures,
it back down to their
that
level.
needs to be, if they're at a first grade level, that needs to come back.
Right.
And if you don't have resources for that, go to the first grade classrooms and get stuff for them, or go to the level book room, or the
Right.
K-12, all of that. But
Well-
that's where you have to, I call it tucking things in, is you have grade level, they have to be exposed to. That's what's
Okay.
happening at some of the other schools. They're staying on first grade because that's all they're ever seeing. So you have your second grade, and then you have to tuck.
Okay, so
all of that
it's,
stuff
as long as it's in
underneath.
whole group, it's fine, because they're being exposed to it. Is
Right.
that's my understanding?
That's the
Okay,
whole point.
that's it.
Whole
Okay,
group,
okay,
they
get
have
it.
to get it. And then intervention with Misty, they're getting it their level.
Well,
Guided reading,
reading
they're getting
and
it their
their
level.
level.
Tutoring, they're getting it their level.
Right,
And it's, for my one student, I can't say his name for confidentiality, but my little curly boy, he's the one that came up 28 points. And it's because he's seeing that on level text finally every single day. And I send it home with him.
Can I bug you too?
So if he has like a fluency passage at third grade,
right.
he gets it sent home Monday.
Oh, are you guys
And-
videotaping?
Yeah,
And I'm butting in.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay,
okay.
I'll-
It's
Should I
every day.
butt in, or
What?
should I go
Yes.
bother
Yeah.
another
No,
teacher?
we're almost done.
Okay,
Gosh, I get to be live on video.
well, is this helpful?
Yes,
Okay,
because
all right.
these were the questions I had. I think
Is that it,
um,
or, we're pretty good?
we did this one to make sure I stay on track.
Yeah, I had you go back after you
yeah.
asked me these, I think we're good.
So I think we're fine. I told her I'll tell you since you're on my video.
Okay.
Lady Max,
Yeah.
I've been using it for a month and a half,
Yeah.
and it gives them a pre-assessment. It does reading, math, it does math facts,
Oh,
it does
cool.
fluency, vocabulary,
Wow.
science,
Mhm.
social studies, everything.
Nice.
Super simple to use. One morning, if you guys want me to bring in my computer
Yeah.
when you're doing your lesson planning or something and show you how to set that up, I set it up in 10 minutes. And my kids beg to go on it. It guarantees for every 40 hours they spend, they go up a grade level.
Wow.
And it's for special ed, but
Okay.
I was just telling her, my little curly fellow went from kindergarten to third grade. Yep, one benchmark.
I know him.
Yep.
Oh, how
His
cute.
reading came up today 28 points.
That's
The average is
awesome.
7. I was so proud of him, I cried. He's like, Miss O'Malley, are you okay? I said, yeah. I was just really happy.
Oh, you're finding
So-
stuff just
Alright.
because you're getting
Wow,
curriculum.
good.
That is
That's awesome.
'cause this-
We
these
need
kids
the help.
it. They need
We
it.
need the help as well.
Yeah, we do.
That's my goal. That's what I need to do. That's what I was asking. They're teaching us
Yeah.
the purpose of this, and I'm going to leave it in the thing so she'll know that we know we have to be, as an instructional coach, we belong to you. And
Right.
you are our teachers. And it has to be the same relationship that you have with your students.
Right.
You want your students to succeed. I
Definitely.
want you guys to succeed. And
Right.
if that's the goal across the board, then everybody is on
Will
the same
succeed.
playing field and everybody will be effective and have success. And that's
Wow.
how it's accomplished.
Well, That's
So,
what we need.
Yeah,
need
we
team
do.
players in
We
this,
do.
because this is rough.
Because these kids are capable.
well, they are.
They
my,
are.
They're
my class
totally-
has shown it. My
and it
class was
just
so
needs the
happy
right-
today with their test scores. Could not believe I had another little girl 32 points.
I definitely want to get my kids on it, don't you?
Yeah, for
Definitely.
sure.
So, well, let me know and I will show you. I'll bring my computer
on
in. Yeah, because if you've got a computer at home, he can do it at home
it. Okay.
too.
Okay.
So, and the
Yeah,
parents,
definitely, for sure.
once you get them
yeah.
on there, have the parents let them do it at home.
Okay. I
'Cause they
mentioned the
can-
kid's name. Oops.
It's okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so
Thank
much, and
you.
I'm sorry, we're all so tired and I
I
have to
know,
do
but
this,
that's
but
okay.
we're all gonna be so
Well,
tired,
my
so.
issue is, Mrs. Miller got me in here, and she signed me up for elements of lesson opening and lesson closing.